Everyone, Richard Robbins here. Well, the numbers are in for the Toronto Real Estate Board for the month of October. As you know, about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, we had another rate increase. A lot of people think that's going to have an effect in the market, and generally speaking, it usually does. But I got some really good information for you based on what's happening in your market. Very positive results in October. Now, I got 3 slides. The last slide that I want to show you is something that I think would be really effective for you to use with a listing presentation or working with a buyer. So let's have a look at the numbers. If we look at, say, 2018 opposed to 2017 in the month of October, you'll notice here that our sales were up by 6%. About 7,000 last year in the same month and almost 7,500 this year. Very good news. What's going on with listings? We have basically 18,800 opposed to 18,900, so our listings are up, but marginally almost the same. But here's what the good news is. If our listings are the same and our sales is up, what should be happening to months of inventory, which determines your price? And they should be going down, which they are. We went from 2.6 months of inventory down to 2.5. But let's have a look at this. Let's compare September of this year to October of this year. Look at your sales were up by 16%. What a beautiful number, okay? 7,492 opposed to 6,455, and our listings were what? They were down. So our active listings, which by the way, when I did this last month, that wasn't the case. You can see here we had 20,000 listings, we had 18,900. So with sales up by 16, active listings down by 6, what should happen to our months of inventory, right? Obviously down. October, 2.5 months. September had 3.1. Now here's the visual that I think would be really effective for you to use in presentations. If you look here, we look at 2017 is in the gray. Obviously 2018 is in the red. So you can see that 2017 was much stronger in terms of sales in January, much stronger in February, much stronger in March, much stronger in April, and a little bit stronger here in May. Where did the foreign buyer tax come in? Right here, April 20th, 2017. That's where the foreign buyer tax came in. But look what happened after that. All of a sudden, 2018 in June was stronger, July was stronger, August was stronger, September was stronger, and October was stronger by 16%. Now, we are trending the right way as a real estate agent because sales are up, more sales happening, obviously. Your business should be doing a little better. More people are buying, more people are selling, which is amazing news. Now, can you imagine that if you created something like this and you put this into, say, your listing presentation, or you showed this when you're working with buyers, it's going to help them see what is truly going on in the marketplace. Now, just so you know, Toronto right now is one of the strongest markets in all of Canada. Vancouver's not doing very well. Edmonton's down, Calgary's down, Ottawa's doing great. Most of the East Coast is doing a little bit better. But I look at Toronto and say Toronto right now is one of the strongest markets in Canada. So if you're struggling, it is not the market. Now, I do understand this. I do understand that different property types are going to have different months of inventory. In other words, 416, yes, it's doing better than the 905. Condos, doing much better than high-end detached properties. So here's what I'm going to suggest. You can create a graph like this for any market, for any geographical area, for any property type, and help people see what is going on. And always remember, never tell them what you can show them. What is your job as a salesperson? It is to give them all the information you can possibly give them to help them make a very informed or educated decision. That's what you should be doing as a salesperson. And when you start putting stuff together like this, they start to see things they didn't totally understand. We live in a society today that is information rich and we're insight poor. I listened to the radio this morning, they're talking about the sales numbers, and it's interesting, they're just throwing information, but what does all the information mean? When you start to look at this right here, this is insightful, okay? This is insightful. But just to throw out numbers really is a bit meaningless. What do the numbers mean? And that's your job as a professional salesperson. So anyway, I hope this is helpful. There's been more detailed videos that I've done in the past, okay? Next month I want to talk more about prices and sales numbers. I'm going to start to change it up a little bit every month. So hopefully this was helpful. Please feel free to put in your comments. I'd love to know what it is you're thinking. Any ideas you might have that you can put into the comments that we all share with each other so that we can all get a little bit better at what it is we're doing. Anyway, remember everybody, it's a beautiful life. Make it count.